A light truck delivering freshly picked tea at Mabale Growers Tea Factory Limited in Chenjojo district. Nearby, tea pluckers are busy harvesting green leaf for delivery to the factory for processing. The agro-industrialization program of the NDP3 has designated tea as a priority cash crop. Tea is the third leading agricultural foreign exchange earner for Uganda after coffee and fish. In 2022, it earned the country $85 million in export revenues. It's an important source of income for over 80,000 households in 21 districts across the country. Traditional tea-growing areas in Uganda include Mukono, Bwikwe, Mubende, Mityana, Masaka, Chenjojo, Chibale, Hoima, Kabarole, Bushenyi, Buheju, Kanungu, and Kabale. But it has now been expanded to Kabale, Kisoro, Rubanda, Rukunjiri, Shema, Nebi, Zombo, Isinjiro, Ntungamo, Mitoma, Rubirizi, Kamwenge, and Mbarara districts. The target is to reach 112,000 metric tons per annum and earnings of not less than $155 million per year. The focus is mainly on smallholder farmers that make up 68% of green leaf production in Uganda. Over 500 million quality tea seedlings have been distributed to farmers through the National Agricultural Advisory Services and Operation Wealth Creation.
Operation Wealth Creation, they gave me 5,000 seedlings and I planted. Then I'm still harvesting from that tea.
In the traditional tea-growing areas, farmers have been encouraged to replace old stump-type tea varieties with better, higher-yielding colonial varieties.
Government came in to attend to the biggest problem in tea subsector. We wanted to expand as a subsector, and the biggest bottleneck was supply of seedlings. It was expensive for a farmer to provide himself with seedling, so we have seen massive growth in tea acreage. In the last 20 years, Uganda has doubled tea acreage, and most importantly, in the latest years when there was OWC.
Tying in with the agro-industrialization program, the tea expansion strategy led to an increase in the acreage of tea grown in Uganda, with over 35,000 hectares now under tea production. However, while the quantity of tea produced in Uganda has increased, the quality, marketability, and ability of Uganda's tea to fetch better prices at the Mombasa auction has not. The problem is attributed to the absence of tea policy and regulation that would set standards across the tea value chains.
Lack of the policy itself has dragged the quality improvement in our tea or in Uganda's tea. So compared to neighboring countries, for example, Uganda's tea is of slightly inferior quality.
As the second largest producer of tea in Africa after Kenya, Uganda produces 85 million kilograms, to the latter 530 million kilograms. Compared to Uganda's sub-$100 million export revenues, Kenya earned up to $1.2 billion annually. Rwanda, another competitor, produces about 30 million kilograms per year of premium quality tea, but earns more than Uganda. In 2022-2023, Uganda earned just about $90 million in tea exports. Yet, with a conducive climate and environment and available land for even further expansion, Uganda could easily surpass the two rivals. The lack of tea policy and regulation also causes a scramble for green leaf during the off-peak season. This means that pluckers, who are paid a mere 50 to 100 shillings per kilogram, pick any leaf in order to make up for the numbers and income. Their aim is to earn not less than 5,000 shillings per day in order to make ends meet. Yet tea pluckers are supposed to pick the tea's freshest leaves to ensure high quality of the tea. The tea exporters also find themselves scrambling for green leaf, especially during the lean months. The result is no one pays attention to the quality.
During the time when they are scrambling for green leaf, they become insensitive to quality. The farmers play factories. When one factory says this leaf is poor quality, the farmer will tell you, if you don't like the quality, your competitor's truck is about to arrive here, and with cash and with a higher price. So that situation drives the quality, and that is why Uganda's tea price at Mombasa auction is less than half of Kenya, of Rwanda. About like 60% of Kenya price.
Besides the low quality and low prices, sector players see several problems resulting from lack of tea policy. One of them are the high fertilizer prices. Fertilizers and herbicides are key to successful tea farming.
You will not get your production right unless you apply fertilizer at least twice in a year.
You see, with tea as an enterprise, if you don't use fertilizers, of course, a farmer cannot get much. So the fertilizers, the prices have been very high. And of course, that's why now we are calling upon the government to come in to support our farmers. With maybe support, the farmers can be supported with fertilizers at reduced prices. Uganda
currently mainly produces black teas, but these fetch very little at the Mombasa auction. In an effort to address this, Revitaba Zardi is now exploring different types of tea like green and purple tea, which have the potential of fetching premium prices.
Black tea can be sold in the auction for like $1 compared to purple tea, which can be taken for $7 to $10. So this is what we want farmers to go in, and then we will train them on how to process them at cottage level so that they can reach out to the niche markets.
Quality of available tea seedlings on the market is also a major issue that Revitaba Zardi is trying to address by developing a seed system.
Research also works there. We're trying to establish a seed system for tea in Uganda, working with other partners like the Ministry of Agriculture, to make sure that when we produce a genotype, it can be traced. Uganda has a competitive edge which is not exploited, because here we don't use a lot of chemicals. So our tea is demanded because it's almost organic. Then another thing, some of the tea which is produced is unique in taste and aroma because of the area where they are produced. We have that. So as research, we need to tap into that.
2 newly developed tea varieties are being prepared for farmers to receive.
Now we can produce, or we can give farmers, we can recommend 2. One high quality but low yield. You can get like 4 tons of made tea per hectare per year, which is 6/8. And then we have one which is very high yielding, which is 303/577. Not many farmers have it. So we are working towards this system to bring it closer. So we're establishing mother gardens in different areas so that farmers can be able, or nursery operators can be able to get the cuttings produced for farmers.
On the value addition side, government has gone a long way to provide modern tea factories where farmers can process all their teas. Buheju Tea Factory, owned by the over 6,000 farmers, is one of the plants provided under the Uganda Development Corporation to address the long journeys the farmers faced to deliver green leaf to the then only tea factory in Igara in Bushenyi district. Tea, being a highly perishable produce, requires that it be delivered to the factory within 24 hours.
Buheju used to produce more than the other growing zones, so it was thought wise that the first processing factory other than Igara should be established in Buheju, and the works to do that started in 2008.
In the last few years, tea production has more than doubled through the distribution of free high-quality seedlings, provision of fertilizers, as well as advice to farmers on the agronomy.
Uganda has potential to double tea export earnings from increased yield and improved quality. And the yield improvement will be largely dependent on availability of fertilizers. So I would like to appeal to government to support tea farmers with access to affordable finance to buy fertilizers and at a good price.
Besides this, government has ensured that farmers' tea shall be bought by financing and set up more tea processing factories in the country. With all these measures in place, and if there's no let-up, sector players believe Uganda can indeed produce more tea than is being currently grown. Not only that, they believe that the country can earn more value from tea. However, it is incumbent that order be brought to the sector. Also, the time could be right for Uganda's tea to be auctioned right here, instead of Mombasa, where it's currently carried out.